everybody, welcome back into Mining Stock Daily. Here's a corporate update I've been really looking forward to having. We've heard from Blackwolf Copper and Gold a number of times over the last couple of years, but there was, I guess you'd call a little bit of a shakeup up in the management team. Not necessarily a shakeup, there was an appointment, and then maybe you could say Mr. Rob McLeod has been promoted to executive chairman. I don't know how he wants to take this, but we're happy to welcome in the new CEO, Mr. Morgan Lekstrom. Morgan, welcome to Mining Stock Daily.
Thanks. Pleasure to be on your show and giving the update and talking about Rob's new appointment as well. Not a promotion.
He has no idea. He has no idea what we're going to be saying. So, anyways, let's talk about this shift up in management here. Why the move to executive chairman for Rob, and then also maybe a little bit of your background and really what your position is going to be as CEO moving forward and how you balance those two out.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I just start with Rob's really old and he wanted to move. I'm just kidding. No, it was a balance for Rob. Rob and I have been talking. I've known Rob for almost 7 years now. I actually worked for his cousin, not brother, to be clear, Bruce McLeod at Sabina back in 2017, 2018. And Rob and I started talking about Blackwolf and vision and execution. And he said, I think there's a synergy here between his geological background, his ton of experience. I mean, he's from Stewart. He's from this area that is the Golden Triangle, probably knows it better than anyone else on the planet. And he's like, well, let's combine that with some mine builders, some marketing, some, pizzazz, I guess one would say. And let's team up on this. And I said, hell yeah. I mean, to be honest, he's a mentor of mine and a friend. And I looked at that and I said, well, what a great opportunity to work within an amazing group. We're also a part of the bigger Fiore kind of office here. So that's, Frank Juster is involved with our company now, obviously with this merger, and we can talk about that a little later. Andy Bowen will get involved. So it's like a combination of powerhouses on their side with Rob. Going executive chairman, so kind of de facto VPX as well. So really, we're working within our lanes and able to let's say think outside the box and think big picture. So,
okay, and how up to speed have you been with the properties within the portfolio? Not only Niblack but also Cantoo, which we're going to be talking about here shortly.
Hold on, we're a mining company? No, yeah, no, absolutely. Definitely up to speed on everything, on the hydro projects, everything from Cantoo all the way to Niblack, the resource there. One of the big driving factors for me joining, there's a lot of exploration companies out there, but there's not a lot of companies that has someone from an area point at a drill target and go, this is the best drill target I've ever seen. Like that is, geologists, they always like to say this is good, that's good. Yeah, there's potential here, but to point at something like Cantoo, which had, he'd driven past before, he'd never seen it, and just got this old timer map and said, hey, holy heck, there's something here. I've never seen it in his backyard. I mean, that's pretty special. So that was a very alluring factor for me to come in, but also being able to execute on bigger picture with people now like Frank in the background and Rob and combining in what we have. It's exciting. I know the projects in themselves are some of those projects that could be very large in the future. You look at this, every mining company says, oh, we have potential to be large. But what they don't have is they're right next to the past producing highest grade in North America for a long time, Premier mine. And it just looks like the mountain cut off and it's Premier. And you're like, wait, erosion happens. So it could be an outcropping of even the feeder. We don't know, right? So that's something that's exciting. The grades were astronomical. So again, you can tell I'm probably pretty excited about Cantoo. We're starting drilling that soon. So
yeah. So you've mobilized the crew and equipment there. So give us a general update. What are you seeing on the ground? What's happening on the ground at Cantoo? And what is, I hate to use specific dates. How about an estimated date of when actually drilling begins?
No, absolutely. So the idea with Cantoo, it's not quite as similar as you just kind of drive onto site and you're there and you stick a drill and next day you're going. We got to build pads on the side of the mountain or on top of the mountain. We have to organize a lot of stuff in town, do some reconnaissance work as well. So all that's begun. We're planning on building pads probably in the next 10, 12 days. That takes a structure of time. So we'll hopefully be drilling. We will be drilling ideally third week of July, and then quick, right? I mean, we start drilling, we get going, we hopefully get assay turnaround very quick. There's a lab in Stewart, so that's kind of the chronology of what we're doing. But while doing that, we're closing this OPV transaction. So a lot of catalysts coming out from many different angles, from the M&A, from the drilling, potentially other exploration properties, and I'm winking where you never know what else is around the corner.
Yeah. Okay. So there is a lot of, I don't know how you call it. There's a lot of excitement with Cantoo. And so I'm looking forward to seeing those results, and hopefully best of luck to everybody. You make a new discovery. That would be something special. Let's cross that bridge when we get there, Morgan. But let's do talk about, you mentioned it, OPV, that's Optimum Ventures. Give us, kind of walk us through, who is Optimum Ventures and why acquire them now?
So it's kind of a combination of two things. One, the land package that they have, the Harry project. It's very interesting because it's slammed right between Ascot, who's developing the past producing Premier mine. They're building a mill there, a very large mill. Haven't started their underground development yet. And once I tell you about my background a bit, it probably will make sense why it makes me think, and Rob think as well. And then slam between Scotty, who also has fantastic drill holes. OPV has had fantastic drill holes so far. It's a company that's chaired by Andy Bowering, who is very well known in the industry. He put together American Lithium, put together Prime Mining. Those, American Lithium was over $1 billion at one point. So very, very strong at the market side of it, capital raising. So it's really a combination of assets and forces, right? So you have Frank Justra, Rob McLeod on our side. You have Andy Bowering and their team on theirs. It's a natural amalgamation point for us. So we get a great land package with a ton of upside potential, already has drilling, already permitted. We can start spending our flow through dollars there, which we have about $2.5 million to spend there, or to spend in flow through dollars. Plus we get the uniqueness of combining two, titans in the industry, and Frank being a legendary already, and Andy having a huge successful track record and wanting to back this team and this group. That should say a lot about where we see with the vision of Blackwolf, where we see it going.
And you also get a little bit of just consolidation here, which is important because it seems like that's what the sector needs, and a lot of people want that.
100%. I mean, that's Rob's vision, and for the Golden Triangle, I think has always been with Blackwolf that we consolidate the areas, we get ready to feed an Ascot mill or, whatever happens there, right? But I like to say this, the 20 or 10 million ounce resources, those have been those are hard to find now. They're not popping up like they were in the 1930s and 40s and 50s where you're like, oh my God, or how, Barrick and Goldcorp were built. But the way we look at it is a bit different. We say, well, why just develop 1 million ounce resource when you could have, consolidate 5 or 6 1 million ounce resources within a sphere and feed a mill from that, very hub and spoke, kind of like the MOU we're studying with Niblack and a couple other companies. That folds over into this side of it. So having 5 or 4 or 3 or whatever it is, 1 or 500,000 ounce resources, now you have a potential for scale. And that in the Golden Triangle is something Rob's always said. There's a ton of potential up there for scalable resource. Majors are moving into there now. Newcrest buying Brucejack, which I don't know if everyone notices. I know I'm rambling on a bit, but Brucejack is a McLeod family find, right? Bruce McLeod and Jack McLeod. It was named after those two. So kind of interesting family history in that area.
Yeah, I actually didn't know that. Makes perfectly good sense to me. Morgan, you mentioned a little bit of why your experience and background fits into this role. Tell us, what is it? I mean, what about your background makes this a perfect fit for you?
Well, I started as a janitor and I worked my way. No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, so I started my mining career quite young, and I started boots on the ground. I worked my way up into engineering management roles. And then I started with Freeport when I was 24 years old in Indonesia at Grasberg. That's one of the biggest mines in the world, running a fair size department. And then went over to Togoy in Mongolia to help helping to build that mine. That thing's still being built like 12 years later. So it's a fairly large build. Help put a mine into production in West Africa and Ghana. I've consulted in the metallurgical and steel making space. I started in the capital markets I worked for Bruce McLeod at Sabina as well. That just got bought out by B2 Gold for 1.2 billion. I think it was pretty awesome.
It was a little change in the pocket.
Just chump change. Yeah. No big deal. But the way I started in the capital markets 2 years ago. You know how they say you put a fire hose in your mouth and you just crank it on. That's you learn who you want to work with long term, what kind of business model they're running, and what kind of people. And to be honest, when I first was getting into the capital markets, I had phoned Rob and I'm saying, hey, what do you think? He's like, yeah, so and so, this and that. And he's like, but you're gonna figure it out, bud. And 2 years later, he's finally like, you need to come figure it out with us. So it was fun. I helped build a uranium company from scratch. That was quite a lot of fun, and put that public. But really, the first 2 years was about networking and making those contacts and getting people involved. And now being able to use all that in Blackwolf, I think will be a very big advantage to the shareholders, but also what our vision is.
Yeah, very good. So talk about news flow here in the next coming weeks, Morgan. What can your shareholders, including myself, kind of expect from Blackwolf Copper and Gold?
Yeah, so I mean, between the transaction OPV, getting to a definitive state there, which should happen very shortly, closing that, mobilizing drills to Cantoo, starting to drill Cantoo. We've got a special thing coming out, a little marketing for everyone that is a shareholder or a future shareholder that I think will be very interesting to people. It's very unique to what we're doing at Blackwolf, and I encourage you to keep your eye on it. It'll be a lot of fun, but it's going to give a very unique opportunity to a couple shareholders to take part a little bit in the hunting treasures. So going treasure hunting.
All right.
Yeah. So a lot of catalysts.
Cool. You and I will be touching base quite frequently for the rest of the year. So until next time, best of luck with everything, and hope everybody stays safe and up there at Cantoo as things really start heating up on the project.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot.
All right. Yep. That's your update from Blackwolf Copper and Gold and new CEO, Mr. Morgan Lekstrom. Blackwolf Copper and Gold trades on the Venture with BWCG and on the OTC with BWCGF.